tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Thank you for tuning in to another It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia after show at AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Danica Kennedy, and this is Season 11, Episode 8, Charlie Catches a Leprechaun. And joining me tonight...
I'm Marielou Mandl. You can find me on all social media at Marielou Mandl, and this is the second week in a row. There's just two hosts, but at least I got to swap.
It's girls' night, though.
It is ladies' night.
Switching it up a little bit.
Yeah. Nobody's
I'm sorry
naked,
I missed last week.
Well, it was your birthday.
I was a little hungover, like 1 foot in the morgue, not gonna lie.
All the way at 9:30 at night.
Exactly. If you want to see the craziness, you can find me on social media at Danica Kennedy. You can find us all at AfterBuzz TV as well. But yeah, I missed last week. I'm so sorry, you guys. I meant to be here, and I tried to think of a good excuse for like why I wasn't. And I was like, no, I'm too hungover to think of anything. But if anyone's gonna understand, it's the Always Sunny fans, right?
Yeah, I think they're mostly hungover all the time. Anyway.
Yeah. And this whole episode was about drinking. St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, St. Patrick's Day coming up.
It's coming up. The next time I will need to like give my liver some time to recover, I guess.
Totally. Yeah, my birthday is always 2 days before St. Patrick's Day, so
girl.
I always lump it in with my birthday, where I'm like, we're just drinking the whole month of March.
That was like me with Valentine's Day. Mine was a little sadder though.
No.
But single, and fabulous.
Single and celebratory.
They made me want to drink in this episode, but then I was kind of like, they got a little too crazy this episode, but I liked it.
Yeah.
One thing about missing last week, I didn't get to comment on last week's episode, which I watched earlier, and it was kind of crazy because throughout this season, they've been really switching it up, and they had the ski trip one, and then they had ones where they were like focusing on specific characters, you know, where it was like just Dennis and Mac or just Frank's perspective. And last week I felt like it was like all the people we haven't included so far, all our other actors crammed into one. And this one they didn't do that as much. It was kind of more back to normal, but I thought this one was hilarious.
Yeah, and I was looking up some behind the scenes stuff from last week, and I didn't realize that Pappy McPoyle is Guillermo del Toro.
What? I didn't realize that either.
And then I was like, I thought it was a joke, and then I looked it up, and I looked him up on IMDb, and it's him. Like the director of Pan's Labyrinth is in It's Always Sunny.
Oh my gosh, I did not
Pappy
realize.
McPoyle.
I didn't know that at all. That's a fun fact.
Yeah,
I like
fun.
that.
Yeah, and
they had a lot of interesting characters in that episode. The McPoyles are always weirdos.
They're so fun.
So ridiculous.
They're so creepy, but so fun.
Their milk and their mother. Oh, so ridiculous.
She goes...
I thought the episode last week was good. It wasn't my favorite. It didn't stand out like the most. I mean, I can never really say anything too bad about Always Sunny because it's one of my favorite shows on TV right now, but it wasn't as strong as the other episodes I thought last week. This episode I thought was one of the strongest ones this season.
Yeah?
What do you think?
I actually preferred last week's, and this week I felt was just so random.
It was random, that's for sure.
And that it was like, I didn't dislike it, but it was a little more twisted than I think I was
really
in the mood
crazy
for.
This season. Yeah. It's getting out there. I mean, it has progressively gotten crazier. But let's dive into this. Okay, so the big plan for Dennis is to make Paddy's wagon, which is the bar on wheels, terrifying, first of all.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, well, he's going to be, it's like a food truck. He's trying to get like a hip young crowd. Maybe it's a thing. Because have you started seeing in some towns, they have like a mobile bar that everybody pedals?
I have seen that. Aren't they called paddy wagons or something like that?
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe it's not called that. I don't know. Let us know if we're wrong, but there is a name for it, and I know they have them in like surf towns where it's like the 4 or 5 people like biking together, and you can drink on them. God, what is that called? Tweet us what it's called because I'm not sure if that's the name. But pedicab, I don't know, something like that, whatever. But this one's like super rapey looking. I don't know. It looks very crazy. It's like black paint. You okay over there?
Oh my gosh, I'm like dying from excitement.
I've definitely like had a choking, coughing attack on here before.
What is happening
I've
right
been there,
now?
girl. It's okay, breathe. But I mean, this is way more painful to go through than your coughing attack. Dennis's plan. I mean, it sounds like a good idea because he's like trying to be trendy. He has the social media involved. He wants to get people on board, get all connected and trendy with drinking and fun. But of course, everyone just wants like an Uber ride, basically. And it gets really intense the way they approach it. First of all, Dee with her accents and characters.
She's just always trying to use her acting. She's always using her acting. So what were the characters she had? Was the one that had like the McDonald hair?
Yeah, the Ronald McDonald afro with the freckles. And then she cut that into a beard.
So she was like a fighting Irish kind of character.
Yeah, which was not very intimidating, but hilarious. And then the last one was the worst one.
Yeah, but I think it was my favorite.
That was like the pirate. She was slurring around. Is the best because she didn't even really have an Irish character anymore. It was just like Pirate D. I don't know. She was so ridiculous.
She was trying to, I saw where it came from. Came from a good place. She's trying to get on board with Dennis's plan and give an authentic Irish experience.
I love how a couple episodes ago, Dennis just called her out and was like, you should really stop acting and just like quit while you're ahead. It's never going to happen. And then in the last couple episodes, she's been bringing out multiple characters per episode and stuff.
Can't stop her.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Nope.
Better not stop. That's like my favorite part of the show. I love all her actress moments.
Yeah.
But that definitely didn't help. Also, you know, forcing the social media on them. That was a little intense. But I think the kicker was robbing them at gunpoint, stealing their phones and wallets. That was pretty bad.
Like that whole interaction of them in the truck and him trying to get them, like, give an email or try to use the tablet to get information. Like, I work in experiential marketing, so we're sometimes, like, gathering people's information that way. And when the internet doesn't work, like, you just feel like a fool. You're like, I'm so sorry. I know. Like, hold on.
I can't do anything.
Yeah, like, stay. Don't go yet, please. Here's a free thing. Like, totally. Like, here's a premium.
It's thinking about working. Come on, guys. Yeah. I mean, the approach. I mean, Dennis is insane. Can we say insane now?
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say he's insane. He's been crazy the entire time, getting worse. And he just keeps lashing out at everyone. And when the girls were on board, I was really worried. I was actually thinking it was going to turn into like a rape van situation. I was like, oh, he wants their cleavage out for the social media pic. Oh, the viewers will like that. I'm like, oh no, Dennis, where is this going?
Yeah, what is he doing? But I mean, the whole gun being there, like when Frank first pulled out the gun, where he's like, oh yeah, I've got my gun. And I was just like, that was, I think, one of the funniest moments because the timing was so good. You didn't expect that, even though you should always expect that Frank's going to pull out a gun.
He was just napping and pulling out the gun the whole time, waving it around.
Yeah. So then their sad little, you know, drinking wagon, bar on wheels, ends up being like a kidnapping and robbing scenario.
They're robbing people, kidnapping them, leaving them outside of town with no money or phone or anything. And they did it to at least 10 people, over 10 people.
Yeah, and I love that they were like, oh, don't worry, we'll mail this back to you. We just don't want you, like, calling the cops right now. Like, so, you know, we need to know where to mail it, so give us your ID. And then we don't want you, like, buying a cab, so give us your money.
And even the beer that they gave was foam, and they wouldn't accept cash. They wouldn't do anything that they wanted, the customers wanted them to do, I should say. But it just, like, epically failed. I loved, though, in the end of, like, that kind of plot line, Frank just, like, kicking them off of the Paddy wagon, just being like, oh, I think I left the gas tank, like, you know, top over there, just, like, getting rid of them. That was wonderful. But let's talk about the Leprechaun.
Oh, my gosh.
They went there.
Charlie, Mac, what is happening? So they're having the St. Paddy's Day like celebration at Paddy's pub. There's tons of people there. We find out somebody is they lost their wallet. Like, so wallets are getting stolen. Mac is pissed off because he can't bartend and do security. And then Charlie comes up and he's like, come down to the basement. And he's, you know, we find out that Charlie's drinking paint.
The Leprechaun. The entire time he's drinking paint.
And he's like, that's not a thing. And Charlie's like, oh, well, you know, like, whatever. It could be a thing. And
ends up, he caught a little person.
he like made a fly trap, essentially.
It was just basically a pan. It looked like a baking sheet with super glue or like hot glue all over it or something.
All right. So one, how did that guy get down there? So was he just down there, or did Charlie
forced
throw
him down there?
Probably.
Probably like straight up put like a sack over him, like kidnapped him, scooped the little guy up. Oh man, that was so painful to watch though. He's like so mad at him too. He's like, I'm not a leprechaun, and the whole time Mac and Charlie are just like, he's a leprechaun, he's gonna deny it, we gotta get the pot of gold. How do we get it from him? And he says it's at the end of the rainbow. Oh my god, this part killed me.
Yeah.
Where Mac was like, oh, the rainbow, the gay bar downtown. I'll go alone. He would.
He did.
Definitely gay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I love that when he comes back, he's like covered in glitter.
Yeah.
He's just covered in glitter and like, why did you need a towel? And he's like, I'm not answering any questions. No.
Trouble.
Because he was out there having a good time, and I bet the rainbow is a fun place.
He found a different kind of pot of gold. Something else fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I love whenever they point out how gay he is, especially when he defends it. This time he didn't defend it. He was just like all for it. But I thought it was funny, like in the past episodes where he's like, what are you talking about? Just like denies it.
Have you ever had a friend that like straight up denies it and like everybody knows?
Oh yeah, I went to an arts high school, and so you know when
like
you're
the entire
like young,
roster.
Oh, all the guys at my high school were gay. I had crushes on so many gay guys, and like one of them, I even like was like, oh my god, I want to tell him I like him, and then I finally did, and he was like, I'm gay, but my family doesn't know, like keep it a secret. And then he came out the next week, and everyone like teased me. They're like, haha, you had like the biggest crush on him.
Oh,
and I was
okay.
like, whatever. Every
people.
guy was like gay there though, because they're all like ballerina boys, you know.
Yeah, but
I'm
not
a terrible
like
gaydar.
Not like ever with like how Mac is, where they're really hardcore denying it.
I mean, I haven't like, you know, persisted and been like, are you to anyone? But you know,
yeah, I've definitely had a few friends where I'm like, when you're ready, I'm here to listen.
Yeah,
when you're ready,
you're like, I don't care either way.
But
like,
until then, we will go to the gay bar and you can take your shirt off and we can just pretend.
Gay bars are the most fun bars, by the way.
Yes.
That's why I live in West Hollywood.
I would definitely go to the Rainbow.
Oh, yeah. That is a place in West Hollywood. I don't know if that, or the Rainbow Room or something like that.
Yeah,
the Rainbow.
I think that's just like a pizza place, right?
Like really? I thought it was a bar. Maybe. I mean, all those things go great together. Hopefully it's all of them.
Yes, it would be the best.
So Frank the whole time this episode was just like passed out. It seems like he's been taking cat naps. You know, he's like just driving around, taking naps, just out of it the whole time. And I really like watching him do that now that we watched the episode from his perspective. Don't you? You're just like, what are you thinking? And just like hating Mac the whole time that episode. That was amazing.
Yeah, the insight into Frank's psyche during, you know, now it's going to inform everything when you're watching Frank from like here on out.
I like that they keep switching up the episode so much, but I almost wish there was like a POV kind of each of the main characters.
Yeah, I could see that like if this one, the like being Frank episode was so popular that next season they would do one for each of the other ones.
That would be hilarious, like a Charlie one or Mac, any of them. It would be really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever have seen the show Peep Show. It's a British show. I think it's on Hulu.
Okay.
Or Netflix. But they film the whole show from the perspective of people. So it's like they grab the coffee mug, or when they go in for a kiss, it's like you're watching their point of view. And I loved that about the Frank episode. So I hope they like put more of that in there. I'm like getting into things I want now instead of talking about the episode.
I found a behind the scenes video of the Being Frank episode, and as much like what we were laughing at, they were also laughing at also, you know, and it really was Danny DeVito walking around, and then the guy, like whoever's the camera operator, is like standing next to him and going through the scene, holding the camera in front of his face. And then the part where he's peeing in the cans, like you see the directors like watching the monitor and like trying not to crack up at the fact that there's two cans.
I need to watch this.
It's great.
It's funny just to watch that too with the two cans and the pee streams.
Yeah, and then the guy Dennis is talking a lot about how in this season they were taking a lot of big swings. Like they're taking a lot of risks in the kind of episodes that they're producing to make it more interesting, which I love. I'm like, yeah, keep doing it. I love this experimental TV.
It's getting wilder, that's for sure.
Yeah, because then you never know what's going to happen.
I definitely recommend checking those videos out, by the way, you guys, if you're a big fan of the show. I mean, I haven't seen that one. I'm definitely going to watch it when I get home, but I think I mentioned this before. Go on YouTube and watch like the behind the scenes videos. They're so funny. There's some where they're actually like drunk, like method acting and stuff, and they're just like fooling around with like the makeup artist or whatever, just like busting jokes around. I don't know. It's just like really hilarious to watch all the behind the scenes footage for this show because they're such a crazy group and they're a lot of fun.
And there was actually a lot of behind the scenes videos from last week's episode with the actress that plays Maureen doing like interviews with the other characters, but she's in her cat face. Like she's in full cat face.
She's cat faced.
Yeah.
I loved how in that episode they almost made the cat issue seem like it was like she was transgender or transitioning into a cat and stuff like that. They totally like with the trans issue route with it. But then she was like chasing the laser. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Hilarious though. Man, what else happened this episode? I mean, little guy finally got free kind of at the end because Charlie almost killed him because he drank too much paint, and then luckily the gang saved him.
I have to say, I loved creepy serial killer Charlie.
He was terrifying.
He had the music and he was like chugging his paint. He's like, let's see if you bleed green. Like, I was like, yes, can we have that guy?
All of them were really scary this episode. Now that I think of it, they were all like murderers, basically, serial killers. I don't know. Creepers. It was terrifying. But they're so friendly and like naive about it that you don't know. They're like, oh, well, I'm just waving this gun around and I don't want you to like bust us or call the cops, so we'll just take your wallet. Like, they don't realize how horrible they are. They're likable assholes in that way, and I love that.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, if most people who do bad things, like, feel like they're doing a good thing.
I know, right? It just depends on the person, their conscience, if they have one or not, I guess.
Yeah, it's because it's either you're like the bad things appeal to you, or you just have a misconstrued like version of reality.
So basically, all the characters on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia are complete sociopaths and don't have empathy for other people at all and are completely naive about it.
Yeah, likely. Because so we get to the end, we find out like the leprechaun was a pickpocket. He was the one who's been stealing wallets every year during St. Patrick's Day. And they found that bag of wallets. They have their bag of wallets from the Paddy wagon. And they made no money because Mac did his Irish honor system.
So do you think the leprechaun actually was the thief stealing all of it? Or was that just like the same freaking bag that they had from
No, it was a different bag.
It was a different one,
right?
Yeah,
because they had like a black duffel bag on the Paddy wagon. They had this gray and black one. Because I was like, oh, did he find theirs? I was thinking that.
I was like, I wonder if they just took that bag and they're all idiots and didn't realize or something. Yeah. But I'm probably the idiot that didn't catch that.
No, it's okay. I look at weird prop things like that.
Yeah, I know, it's good. I was like, I don't remember the duffel bag color, but I know that they were stealing them, that's for sure.
So I do feel like
he was a thief, though. So.
I feel like he was a thief and a leprechaun.
You think he was?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, he did jump with the rainbow behind him.
Nobody believes paint drunk Charlie.
Yeah, huffing too much paint. He's tripping out, you know? Maybe he just saw him in his true colors because of, like, the drugs he was on, even though he wasn't really on drugs. It was just paint.
Yeah, well, he's always huffing paint. He's always...
It's his drug of choice, you know? So...
just chugging it.
Maybe he's just seeing the real version of him.
And then Frank's like, Charlie, have you been drinking paint, straight paint? Not like even like, have you been drinking paint? Just like straight, like undiluted paint. Because it's probably okay if it's diluted.
Just been drinking some.
He just knows it's a thing for him. And I love that like Charlie and Frank are so understanding of each other.
They get each other. Yeah. 2 peas in a pod, that's for sure. I want to see an episode dedicated to Mac. That's like what I'm hoping for. Getting into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to talk about this episode? I guess we should get into some predictions.
Yeah, right.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
So hard to predict for this show, but it's so fun too as well. We've been pretty spot on actually for a lot of them.
I had mentioned last week, so the episode that comes next week is like the gang goes to hell or something like that. And I predicted last week that the devil would take the form of Artemis.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that. Well, they're all going to hell.
Yes.
I feel like.
And then I wanted to add on to that if there is like also the opposite, so like if you have a little devil and a little angel, that the angel is going to be Cricket.
Interesting. Well, I know that we only have like 2 episodes left this season. Here, I mean, this was episode 8 of season 11. I think there's 10 total, so there's going to be that episode, and then the season finale, which will be extra cray, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Prediction wise, I mean, I was thinking earlier, like I was like, oh, Frank's gonna do a bunch of cocaine, and then he did in this episode. I feel like they're gonna do something crazy with Frank again, where he like bangs a bunch of whores again for like the finale, maybe. I hope that they focus more on Dee, because I feel like she hasn't had like her special episode yet where they really focus on her. She's just always the side bird, you know, just like, shut up, Dee, you left on the side of the road the whole time. So I hope that she becomes like a star in something, whether it's like, you know, dancing around with the stripper host that Frank ends up hooking up with. That's fine by me.
All right.
Her star moment.
Dee's gonna have her
even
moment.
if it's lazy. That's my prediction. Well, where can they find you online again?
You can find me on all social media at Marielou Mandl. I'm making a very big effort this week in the next few weeks to figure out Snapchat.
Me too. I'm late to that game, getting on it this week. We could teach each other.
Yeah,
It'll be
we'll
great.
learn.
And you can find me on all social media at Danica Kennedy, and you can find us all at AfterBuzz TV. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.